Welcome to BizTech's Health and Wellness Show. Today we speak to Dr. Selina Chew. She's the founder of Medic Footprints Malaysia. Founded in 2020, Medic Footprints is the only platform in Malaysia that addresses the issues of alternative careers for medical doctors in the country. The platform connects doctors to other non-clinical careers, which simultaneously assist them in making their career transitions. Now, to tell us more about this, welcome to the show, Selina. Welcome back to BizTech Asia's Health and Wellness Show.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Now, Selina, Medic Footprints was born out of your personal experience as a former anesthesiologist. Could you briefly give us an account of your journey and what Medic Footprints is today?
Okay, just a correction that I wasn't a full-fledged anesthesiologist. I was a medical officer in the anesthesia department.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened was I had a slip disc and I was injured. I requested for support from my superiors to support my recovery journey, but I think they just didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know what to do, so they told me to leave. And when I left, I went into medical research and I was very lost. I didn't know what to do. So there was nobody really there to help me. And I saw many doctors that were coming out like myself that had no idea what they were doing. But the problem here is we are coming here with years of clinical experience. And when we're there, we're basically told that, okay, there's nothing else for you to do here. You know how, but all of us still want to contribute. How can we use that clinical experience, right? So I came across Medic Footprints in UK, and I thought what they did was very brilliant. But how come we didn't have something here? So that's when I decided to work together with Medic Footprints UK, collaborate so that we can bring and build something here for the doctors here. Doctors like myself, doctors who are coming with years of clinical experience and still want to contribute back to healthcare, to patients' care. So that's the whole concept of why Medic Footprints came about.
Okay, and what sort of membership base do you have now, and how long have you been around?
We've been running, this is, oh dear, it's 3 years running. This is going to be the 4th year. We've got about close to 3,000 doctors that are on our database. I think there's probably a lot more that have been following us and spying on us, but have not subscribed to us.
I see. Okay. Now tell us a little bit about some of the key achievements that you have achieved in the last 3 years.
Okay, well, when we first started, I think we only had about 80 people that knew of us, and within 3 years, we grew from 80 to 2005. We started off very small in a small co-working space in Uptown, Damansara Uptown, where we have small events like 20 people that would show up. After 3 years, we finally had a huge event last year. We had a diverse career summit for doctors where we had over 300 doctors that attended. They were looking for career opportunities outside of clinical medicine. And Brian, you'll be surprised, we had a few specialists that came and they were talking to me. They were asking, how, is there anything else I can do? You know, because they've already reached a certain level, you know, as a specialist, and moving out is so much harder. So yeah, I was quite shocked that we had specialists on board as well. We had about 10 sponsors during that our event, looking for doctors to join them in their non-clinical sector.
And that's the big opportunity, isn't it, for doctors who are moving out of a clinically facing environment into then diverse careers, anything from insurance, from medical devices to pharma and so forth. How are you illuminating these opportunities for doctors?
I guess what we found is that as we were doing this, we were connecting doctors to job. What we found that there was a huge gap between what they went through during training and what the industry needs. So what we've been doing is we've been upskilling them, we've been training them, teaching them all the skills that they need to become more marketable in all these different various fields. Because okay, I don't know everything, but we have a lot of doctors who have already transitioned, who are coming back to give back, to share their knowledge and to teach as well. So that's what we've been doing to help the doctors transition into all these different fields in medicine and in healthcare.
And is it also, from your experience, many of these doctors perhaps became doctors because their parents told them to do so, or their friends were all doing it, and then they were really, their heart was not in the profession and they were looking at different options?
I think there's a variety. Like myself, being a doctor was all I ever wanted. But there was a mismatch between what I expected out of it versus what the reality is. And the thing is, I think a lot of us were, at least for myself and my generation and people that I speak to, are shaped by Hollywood, shaped by our parents, our teachers, and everyone around us. But once we get there, we realize that things have changed, you know, like what it was for them and what it is now is probably very different. So what we expected, like what I expected out of it and what I got, it's so different. And when I stepped out of clinical medicine, that's when I saw a bigger picture, healthcare. We're not just talking about medicine anymore. We're talking about healthcare. If Hollywood made a story about healthcare, I mean, nobody will watch it, but you would get people to really understand what healthcare is all about. And maybe there won't be so many people jumping in doing medicine because of the glamour of it. But there are also people who did medicine because of their parents. But I would say it's a 50-50. There are a lot that did medicine because they wanted to, and they are very disappointed with what the reality of becoming a doctor is.
And so this is a worrying thing because recent media reports in Malaysia indicate that 73% of healthcare professionals in the government service in particular are thinking of quitting the service. Now, this is due to the lack of career progression pathways and also lack of permanent positions. This is all around the contract doctor issue as well. These are staggering numbers. What's happening here? What is the reason for this?
I guess I can't comment much about the government's policy, how they came about this, but at least the pulse on the ground, a lot of them are quitting because they can't plan their life. You know, they have a certain expectation that when they get into housemanship, they do their MO-ship, they can start planning their path to becoming a specialist, right? But that is all up in the air. No one knows. The permanent position selection criteria is not transparent. Nobody knows what it takes to get in. So that's, for them, the uncertainty is just too much. So if they transition out, they move somewhere else to corporate, at least the ball is in their court and they can decide how they want to plan their life. So I think that's probably why, you know, a lot of them are quitting the government, because they just need that certainty, that clarity, and that ability to plan for the future.
Now, Selina, the other issue is also the fact that, and this problem is a problem that will manifest itself in the future, because don't we need more specialists in a lot of different subspecialties, but we're actually not having enough, and the trends are already showing that we're going to have severe shortages in different subspecialties 10 years from now.
Yeah, I totally agree that it is a lot to do with the government policy, because now the specialist program is very much academic based. So MOHE is the one that's determining how many master students they can take in and they can train, because there's a ratio of consultant to how many master students they can take, right? But if the government were to change this and make it, instead of an academic-based specialist program, to a clinical-based specialist program where the MOH hospitals can take in master students, you have so many more specialists in KKM So the amount of students that they can take in will be so much more. Yeah.
And there's also the proposal from the Association of Private Hospitals to actually get them involved in the training of medical professionals for specialty care.
Yes, yes. Actually, KPJUC is one of them. We've been having talks with them how we can help get doctors into these programs, but it's very costly. So it costs just as much as your undergrad program to go into this specialty programs.
I see. So that's going to be a different factor that we need to consider. If it's done by the private sector, it's going to cost a lot more money.
Correct. And they have to quit their service in government to be able to enroll into these programs.
Okay, so that's a structural thing there that and that's a conversation that I will be having with the APHM in the very near future on BizTech Asia's Health and Wellness Show as well. But Selina, over to Medic Footprints again. You will be organizing your second Healthcare Diverse Careers Conference and Exhibition on the 19th and 20th of August this year. Tell us more about this year's conference and how it's going to be a little bit different from last year's.
Okay, so this year we're expecting a bigger crowd. We are doing it bigger because last year we only focused on non-clinical jobs. This year we've decided that there were a lot of doctors that still want to practice medicine, and they're going to come out, and we thought we shouldn't turn our backs on this guys as well. So we have talks on non-clinical medicine, and we also have talks on clinical medicine. These are targets specifically for GPs. How can they add value to their practice? And we want to build that support for them as well. So it's going to be bigger, the conference. We're going to have 2 halls running at the same time. And for the exhibition side, we're targeting between 40 to 60 exhibitors. They're going to be in the healthcare realm. And we're also inviting actually nurses, allied health, pharmacists, dentists to come for the exhibition site, because that is free.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, what other initiatives, because you've been talking about upskilling doctors, what other initiatives are you doing in 2023 with regard to upskilling doctors as a whole?
Oh, we've got quite a lot of things planned this year. Coming up, we have a workshop on how to build a GP. Like I mentioned, because of the contract system, a lot of young doctors are coming out to build GPs. And trust me, our training and our medical school does not equip us on how to build and run a GP practice. Yes, we can see patients, but we will not know how to run a clinic if we never learned how to. So we're having that workshop for doctors who want to build GPs. We're also organizing how to use a ChatGPT for doctors, how they can integrate it with their clinical work. That's happening in April as well. And we're also having one AI bootcamp for doctors, because let's face it, technology is advancing so fast, but our medical training is not evolving at all. So we want to equip these doctors with all this knowledge. And sometime in the middle of the year, we're partnering with an aesthetic company to do a aesthetic workshop, a hands-on aesthetic workshops for aesthetic doctors. And then in August, we have our Healthcare Diverse Careers Conference and Exhibition.
That sounds like a lot on your plate. I wish you all the best in 2023. It's been a fascinating conversation, Selina. But before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to share with the audience before you end the conversation?
Hope those that are in healthcare, that you come for the Healthcare Diverse Careers Conference and Exhibition. Like I mentioned, the conference site is paid and it's specifically focusing on doctors, but the exhibition site is catered to all of healthcare, allied health workers. And if you're a company that want to showcase and brand yourself in healthcare, take up a booth with us and be part of our exhibition.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for taking your time to come on the show, Selina.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
I'm Brian Fernandez, and we've been speaking to Dr. Selina Chew, founder of Medic Footprints Malaysia. This video and podcast will be on our social media platforms as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. It'll also be on our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks a lot for tuning in.